Hello, my name is Jesse Mecham with another episode of the Jesse Mecham Show, and I'm here each week to obsess out loud about your obsession with money. No, I'm just kidding. We are not obsessed with money, but we do worry about money, and so I am here to help you eliminate your money worry. And I'll be honest, one of the ways that worry creeps in, well, maybe the only way, is that our money is misaligned. How we spend it is misaligned with what we care about. And one of the culprits for causing misalignment is the all too common impulse spend. I am as guilty as any of suddenly wanting something. For instance, I found out last week when a friend and I were finishing up these rocking chairs that we had built, I found out that his brother had received what's called a drill doctor. And the large version is the one that the brother wishes he would have gotten for Christmas and hadn't. And the drill doctor sharpens your bits. And we had just finished attaching the runners to our rockers, and my bits were dull. And thus sparked the conversation from my friend about how his brother had this thing. Suddenly, on my list called Things I Want, in notes on my phone, actually I have it right here, I've got the drill doctor there, the large version, because I want it to be larger than the one his brother has. No, his brother said he wanted that larger version, wishes he would have gotten it. So what are a few more things that I have on the Things I Want list? It's fairly long. Some of these things have been on here for a couple of years. I want a print of I love Caravaggio as far as artists go, and I want a print of The Fortune Teller, and I want a print of The Calling of St. Matthew. I've always loved both of those, literally for the last 20 years, but only until, about 3 years ago, I thought, I want a print of those, and I'm going to put them in the house. Yet to do it, but it's on my list of things I want. A stud buddy that uses magnets instead of electronics to detect detect the nail in the drywall instead of the stud. And then here's that drill doctor already on there. I want a pea coat like what Daniel Craig had in one of the James Bond shows. So it's there. I found the exact one that I thought was really cool years ago when I watched the movie. Yet to pull the trigger on that one. Not sure why. I even have a clothing category. But what's interesting, I also wanted these gloves, waterproof for hiking. What's interesting about the Things I Want list is sometimes putting it on the list seems to scratch the itch that the buying might have done. At least it is for me. And one thing that you learn when you become good at money, you're using YNAB, you're making sure that you know exactly what your money is for. Every dollar has a job. You become really good at spending your money on things you want. And then the Things I Want list actually gets more scrutiny than it otherwise might. Should everyone do the Things I Want list? Absolutely. Yeah, if you feel this just this urge bubbling up inside of you, yeah, make a little note, add to it. I literally have them as checkbox things, like, you tap it when you're done buying it. And I will put a link there sometimes and be like, this is the exact one I want. But I'll be honest, there are a lot of times where I have, two things. One, I've bought the thing on the list and don't realize it. And then a year later, I'm looking at the list, kind of scrolling. It's like, oh yeah, I did buy those chisels that I actually wanted, and I check it off. Other times, I will be looking through the list, just kind of doing my own scrolling, and I will see something on the list, like this specific backpack that I had on there for 2 years, and suddenly I realize, my backpack is still really doing its job. I don't want that thing. It has some cool features, but not worth the money. And I deleted it from the list. So you can remove things by buying them or by deciding you don't actually want them. But when you are good at money, you are spending in alignment with what you want. And because you have crystal clarity on what you want, because you give every dollar a job, because you're balancing the trade-offs from now and in the future and your goals, long-term, short-term, all those things, you're balancing all of it, holding it all in tension. That invites a lot of scrutiny through the scarcity that you're feeling, that not every dollar can do everything. And that scrutiny can then be applied to this Things I Want list, where the list becomes truer and truer of the things you actually want. Now, I can want things on that list and I can recognize I don't want them right now, I can say, yeah, I want that, but we're building a new house and I want the Caravaggio print in the new house. So I'm not going to worry about it right now. All of that comes into play. But what you don't want to do is just you feel that urge welling up inside and you buy. We want to be checking our plan, making sure that we have the money there for what we want. And when you hold up the thing you want against your overall plan, that's what gets you good at money, because you're trading off against all the other things you want. And what you realize is that some of the things you want, you don't actually want. And then you spend not less, but you spend differently. Some people will say, no, Jesse, I do spend less now that I'm using YNAB. That is true. You do spend less right now, but it's only because you're saving up for an epic trip, or you're saving up for the new car, or you're saving up for whatever it is. So right now you're spending less, but there will come a point where you drop 48 grand on that brand new car that you're so excited about, and you will not have spent less. You will have spent the same, but it will just have been deferred for a long time. And deferral isn't something that we're used to. Although when you're good with money, you totally are used to it. So if you are an impulse spender, and we all are, almost all of us, there are a few crazy ones that aren't, but most of us are. And if you feel so inclined, fire up a little note. Actually, write to me. Tell me, this is what I want you to do. Write to askjesse@ynab.com, and I want you to tell me what you've put on your list. Why? Because I am terribly, terribly passionate about hearing what people want to use their money for. I like to hear the unique things. We've done this in years past, and I want to do it again. Tell me what is on your list. Not something you're buying right now, but just like, hey, Jesse, I'm putting this on my list. Because if you tell me what's on your list, I might want to put it on my list. And that could be pretty fun. This will get you good at money. You don't impulse spend, not because we don't spend, but because we do spend on things we really, actually, as the kids would say, literally want.